Hi, I'm Denise with Lighten Up Amputee. As I reported in my last video, my update from my last scan wasn't the best. I try not to go with the good and bad words these days. It's more, it is what it is. So 2 tumors in my lungs grew, and kind of jolting because the 2 tumors have grown more than any growth in the last 3.5 years since my initial diagnosis. So I'm sitting here in a wheelchair at the top of a mountain, it's in Sycamore Canyon where we live. It's beautiful out here in California. There's a road that we parked at, and my daughter pushed me into this spot. Now she's doing the hike and I'm enjoying the view. And I'm contemplating life and death. And one thing, since I was diagnosed 3.5 years ago, it really does make you look at your mortality. How can it not, right? And it isn't until you have a health scare or an accident that you really realize your mortality and that time is not limitless. And I've been trying to look at how I approach healing. And even though I approach healing with optimism and hope and rah-rah, I still will infuse words like, well, if I'm not here, if I don't make it, if anything happens to me. And I realized that about 90% of me is in for the healing and miracles, and the other 10% still is kind of trying to be realistic and prepare everyone in my world just in case. And I realized that I need to be 100% into living. I mean, yeah, I have come to terms with death, and I'm not afraid to die. But am I afraid to live? I mean, live, 100% live. Like, invest every breath, every cell of my being into living fully, and to doing everything possible to live. And my answer is yes, absolutely. But in being a mom of 3 kids, a single mom, and realizing that I wanted to prepare them just in case I left this earth earlier than I would like, that they would be as prepared as possible. And how do you prepare people for that? As I talked to a friend earlier, and she reminded me that nothing can really prepare you. I mean, yeah, it's hard when it's a sudden loss, but at this point, it wouldn't be a sudden loss whenever I go. My kids kind of have some preparation, but I can't be on the fence anymore. I can't do 90% living and 10% just in case. I have to be 100% in, 100% in for healing, and 100% in and invested. If you think of invested as kind of in, I'm in, to really just embrace being here, staying here as long as I can. So even though it was a little bit of a punch in the gut to find out 2 tumors, I clearly got a mixed message from my psyche. I'm not blaming myself, but there's a little bit of a mixed message going on in my own psyche, and it's time to clear that up. And it's very hard for any of you watching that have a loved one who maybe is diagnosed with cancer or a health issue. It's a very hard thing to say, yeah, I'm 100% into healing, because I have watched people 100% say they're 100% in, and they are, and then they die. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them that they were 100% in. Only God knows when it's time for us to go. And I think sometimes I have been not putting 100% in, because even if I hold back just a little, I feel like even in other people that I know that are suffering from health challenges, I think, well, I have to prepare myself in case they go. It'll help me handle their loss. And as my friend said this morning, it doesn't. We still are going to be devastated when people we love leave this earth, and we mourn the loss because we loved them. And that mourning is just such a sign of that love and that connection and that relationship. So with all of that said, as I sit here on the top of this mountain today, with the inability to even walk this hill, but I can sit here and I can enjoy the view, and I can contemplate life, and I can contemplate death, and I'm in. I'm fully invested and fully in 150% to staying here as long as I can, and as long as God will allow me to stay and my body will comply with healing and those tumors dialing back and finding the right doctors and the right treatment to get me on the right path. So, by the way, the sunglasses, it's just because it's very, very sunny today. So it's good to see all of you, even though I can't see you, but I know that you're all there. We're all connected. And thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your prayers. And let's be all in. If we're going to live, let's do it. See you next time.